Good afternoon. Uh, I'm working with new areas because I've had where I can do my readings and such, and this it keeps trying to focus, and it's kind of weird, so I hope once we get going it figures out where my hands are and quits zooming around, zooming in and out like it is evidently trying to do. So, I got a new deck. I hope the glare isn't too bad. It's called FaërieEnchantments, and it's by Ian Daniels. And I got two decks, so this one's all sealed up, and we will leave it that way because I'll probably do a add it to the giveaway I'm doing over on Tumblr. The edge of the cards is copper foiled, and maybe it would be smart to turn these white. Oh, come on, you guys. There. Turn one of them white. There we go. And the copper is pretty neat. And this was the top card when I opened the box. And this one jumped out at me. And these are double-sided cards. They all have the fairy name, what characteristics they represent, a ruin that is there that represents them, and then other items that are connected to them. So, and and this is very Welsh. I don't know pronunciations. So we have I haven't read the description for Fand. So I have, over the weekend, when I don't have time to do this sort of thing, I got into the book, and it's fairly structured. And I'm going to go with it and start with the study that Ian has laid out in the book. I might tweak it to my more chaotic style, but he goes over what a hedge witch is and how fairy stuff and is often associated with hedge witchery. And I used to be better at Welsh pronunciations, but it has been a very long time. He talks about fairies, fairy and Celtic deities, and that they're part of the fairy world, other world. And there's some interesting illustrations. Goes a little bit into Celtic mythology and Druid lore, using the cards for enchantments. This little image, bestow inspirational emotion. He's taken and put together the fairy ruins that are on two of the cards. Bestow is greedy lad, and then he also uses a couple of other runes. These cards are my soul cards according to his formulae in the book. He talks about how the cards work with the elements, how they can be used with witchcraft, and each card is its own enchantment using the keywords. And if you want to do a spell, using the items or ingredients that are on the lower part of the card. The alchemy or combinations of things you can use. Bewitchings. Ways to define feelings. And I would just, he says negative feelings, but I would assume you could put any adjective for a feeling and work with it that way. And ask the cards questions in reconciling lost love, wisdom, finding wisdom, receive a secret essence, how numbers are magic, how scents can influence how things feel for you. Using these as part of your divination. And that's as far as I've gotten in the book, other than going to the pages in the book for finding your soul cards, and you use your zodiac to do that. So my sun card is Dylan, transform, transitional rebirth, the ruin that looks like a hook. Ingredients with this fairy are blue, iolite, samhain, elder, eel, rook, musical pipes, facing northwest. My moon card, I'm a Scorpio, sorry, is this young creature. Creed lad, bestow joyful freedom. Pale blue, aquamarine, November, rose, seal, cormorant, essential oil, and waterfall. And then my ascendant, which zodiac is Leo, and my fairy for ascendant is Etienne. I get define, redeeming, awakening. The ruin looks like an upward pointing arrow. Items or ingredients are red, garnet, spring equinox, holly, hare, starling, fire, and facing east. I'm a sunrise person, so I think east is good. And I thought this card was interesting with the facing northwest. My altar space kind of faces, when I'm looking at it, it faces northwest. So there's a list of all of the fairies and their essential manifestations and what they correspond to in the world of tarot, although there aren't as many cards in this deck as there are in a tarot deck. So many of the cards stand for more than one tarot cards. So fanned, manifestation of water, represents the 8, 9, and 10. Is that what it, wait a minute, the 8 and 9. Oh, yeah, 8, 9, and 10 of cups, which I find interesting. So 8, 9, and 10 of cups, and there is a cup in her hand. And I haven't read about her, so and I've read about my soul cards. Let's see. The fairy queen fanned is a sea goddess associated with sensual pleasure, happiness, peace, and honor. Fanned, meaning pearl of beauty, is the beautiful daughter of the forest fairy Flidis. Phidias. Excuse my pronunciation. She dwells in her palace of the sea and on misty islands in the middle of lakes. As a shapeshifter, she can transform into sea animals and birds. In her seabird form, she flies with a flock of enchanted birds, each pair joined together by a silver chain. Fanned, flying with her sister, are connected by a golden chain after a quarrel. By a golden chain, period. Excuse me. After a quarrel, her husband Manannán abandons her. She is then attacked by the Fomorians and sends for Cuchulainn, the great Irish warrior. He agrees to slay her enemies in exchange for sexual pleasures. She agrees to his terms and he destroys her foes. Cuchulainn and the fairy queen fall deeply in love, dwelling together in idyllic bliss, binding the mortal world with the other world, realm of fairy. This card represents an idyllic state of peace and bliss where hopes and wishes have come true, particularly in the area of emotional fulfillment. On an inner level, fanned can symbolize an emotional awakening of your soul and feelings of inner completion. Dreams will manifest in your material environment, leading to lasting joy and success. This time of emotional stability often relates to your home life or family. And cool, I just double check to make sure I'm still online. Bringing promise of lasting contentment in a loving environment. Happiness and prosperity are on the horizon. Fanned indicates a period of close harmony with Awin, often after a time of trial. You will feel at one with the universe and in touch with the flow of Awin. Engage deeply with these energies. Life is ordered and fulfilling, and everything is in perfect harmony. This peaceful sense of happiness should be enjoyed open-heartedly and with great gratitude. Make a list of six things in your life that make you happy. Give thanks for each. And that's probably an exercise that I should do, or that I might do. And let's read my Sun card. Page 70. Oh, I marked them with spacers. Dylan. Dylan is a sea god whose divine powers relate to transformation and rebirth. The meaning of his name translates as the wave or tide that returns. Along with his brother Liu, he is one of the twin sons of Gwydion and Aranrod. Dylan and Liu represent the twin powers of darkness and light. As soon as Dylan, the dark twin, was born, he plunged into the sea, taking its nature, swimming as well as any creature therein. The deep sea was inseparably connected with darkness by the Celts, signifying the abyss or primal womb, its vast watery depths instilling a sense of awesome ancient mystery and dark primeval births. The ocean, as a source of Genesis, is reflected in the cauldron myths, being metaphors for rejuvenation, transformation, and regeneration, both physical and spiritually, or containing infinite knowledge or possibilities. Upon Dylan's death, the waves wept for him, their sullen clamor being described as Dylan's death groan. This card represents dying to the old to give birth to the new. To grow, you must continually depart from episodes throughout your life, whether from youth, relationships, images of self-identity, or old beliefs and attitudes. But within these endings are new beginnings. Nothing is lost as it becomes part of you. The layers you shed nurture new life, just as fallen leaves provide the nutrients for regeneration. An ending, loss, or transition may be foretold. Dissipate unnecessary layers of decayed emotions or thoughts. This may cause sadness, but also a release and sense of completion. Great change or transformation may be indicated. A welcome ending, release from a negative chapter in your life, or completion of a difficult endeavor can also be the message here. Write down 3 wishes that you want to manifest within 1 year and a day. So another one, and my moon card is Creedilad, the Flower Maiden, Creedilad, and I know I'm not saying that right because I know Welsh consonants are interesting. Represents the joy and freedom of childhood, purity, wishes fulfilled, and generosity. As a muse goddess, she inspires imaginations and instills hearts with love and beauty. She represents promise, peace, and the fruitful bounty of the earth. Creidilad is symbolized by blossom, flowing water, and a golden moon. Her name can be translated as heart, sea jewel, or shining sky child. Creidilad becomes a lady at the court of King Arthur, where she is loved by 2 rival suitors, Gwythyr and Gwyn. A feud erupts when Gwythyr abducts her, to which Gwyn retaliates by kidnapping her from Gwythyr. Arthur intervenes, returning Creidilad to her father, Lleu. An arrangement is made that the rivals must engage in single combat for her hand in marriage every May Day. She remains a maiden, dwelling with her father until a final battle on the Judgment Day, which will determine who will love her eternally. The tale is symbolic of the power struggle between summer and winter for the promise and joy of spring. Focus on enjoying life and find a joyful inner harmony. Seek emotional and sensual pleasure of pure delight and freedom. A wish is to be granted and pleasurable feelings will soon be experienced. How honest simplicity, allow honest simplicity direct from your heart to guide you without ulterior motives. Seek a renewal of faith and open yourself up with carefree enthusiasm. By returning to your inner source, you will perceive the colors of life, radiant with sensuous bliss. Land grants fulfillment of the sensual will and the harmony of emotions by balancing the light and shadow aspects of life. She teaches the necessity of self-love in order that you can truly love others. Trust in yourself and in the internal love from which you originate. Create a fairy rune to grant a loved one freedom from a specific problem. And last, Etienne, awakening. Etienne is the goddess of awakening, reconciliation, and absolution. The fairy prince Midir became enchanted by Etienne. They fell deeply in love and married. In a jealous rage, Midir's first wife, Famnak, transformed Etienne into a pool of water, then a worm, and finally into a butterfly. Casting her out to sea in a storm, after 7 years she finally finds sanctuary in the palace of Angus, who feeds her on nectar. Fumnak finds her, banishing her for 1,000 years upon icy winds. Finally, Etienne falls into the drinking cup of the wife of Etar, a chieftain of Tara. She is swallowed and passes into the womb of Etar's wife, who becomes pregnant. Etienne is reborn as a mortal child more than 1,000 years after her first birth. Blossoming into a beautiful woman, she becomes queen of Tara. One day, Midir appears, begging her to return with him to Faerie, her true home. 1,000 years had passed, yet she remembers her past life with him. Midir takes her in his arms, transforming them both into swans. Linked together by a golden chain, they fly back to their fairy kingdom. This card relates to reconciliation and learning lessons from the past. Etienne continued on and in the end remembered who she truly was. When all seems hopeless, do not give up. Weigh up the actions and events of the past so as to put them to rest, allowing you to reawaken and blossom. Reestablish a new order with precise distinctions and commitments. Balance up your options and make a clear judgment. An inner calling or new beginning created from the end of what has gone before will redeem you. A journey, undertaking, or phase in your life is near completion. Establishing rewards, transformation, and absolution. Ask a fairy deity for a clear answer within 3 days to a specific question. So there I have. Those are the parts of the bits of this that I have looked at so far. And let's thumb through the rest of the deck, and I will get them closer. And we have the beloved, receive personal blessings. Oh, come on. Aween, flowing pure essence. Do we look at, I'm not sure. Mathonwi, initialize boundless potential. Kernunos, active, concentrated magic. Dawn, absorb, subconscious intuition. Olwyn, unite, mystical relationship. Rhiannon, nurture, fertile beauty. Rhiannon. Gwydion, command, structure, energy. Math, understand, established, wisdom. Arianrod, control, virtuous, quest. The white heart. Well, a heart is white. Gwyn, radiate, benevolent strength. White stag. Cat's eye. Who is this lovely creature? Fledice, discover secret mystery. Dark and brooding. Habondia, increase unexpected fortune. Ayabel, balance, karmic harmony. Why are we holding on? What's trying to blow us away? Morrigan. Release suspended emotion. Awaken. Ayin. Reconcile. Tranquil. Health. Riding a black stag. Droantia. Enrapture. Ecstatic. Passion. Looking within. Kigva. Banish negative nemesis. Oh, this is about the lightest colored one so far. Sunshine. Blodued. Crystallize intellectual thoughts. And you are Bran. Recuperate mental clarity. Beware. Elan. Coordinate. Lost knowledge. Caradwin. Conceal elemental being. Fruitfulness. Modron. Propagate hidden manifestation. Gloaming. Witch hazel. Blackbird. Dark riding strength. Arawan. Manipulate physical matter. Freedom and letting things go. Armaethon. Materialize abundant resources. Challenge. the big guy. Pi will establish prosperous success. Our innocence. Brigid. Visualize inspirational dreams. We rise with the moon. Sonia, reflect psychic illusions. Fairy. Guion, invigorate positive vitality. Love's Eden, flowing. Avalok, integrate accomplished fulfillment. We rise. Meb, ignite spiritual creativity. Meb. Teltu, achieve supernatural progress. We are beyond. Liu, illuminate decisive victory. Meriden, block oppressive power. Dreams. Branwen, imbue compassionate feelings. Fiery intimate. Penardun, attract empathetic love. And we're back at the beginning. I hope everyone had a great weekend and is having a super day. Love to you all. Peace. Stay safe.